Prepare yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion. Prepare yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
Yes, we got the loot. Good. Listen. Good morning. That's going to be the new catchphrase. We're going to need a T-shirt because of Alder that says "Good morning" when we log on at 9:30 Eastern time.
We could be like a morning zoo crew.
Right. We don't even know what time it is, right? So, good morning, Alder and Jim. What's happening, my friend? I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back. I missed a week and a hobby hangout because, well, I couldn't do the hobby hangout, I couldn't do last week because I had to go pick my son up right in the middle of the show, and then I was sick for the hobby hangout.
Yep.
And I didn't want your guys' computers to get a virus. That's right. That was sorry, guys. I have 5 kids, so I have dad jokes. So, Eric, besides petting your cat, what have you been up to, sir?
So it's been a crazy holiday week. I haven't got as much hobby time that I wanted to. I think the last time I did put some paint on a Mini yesterday, but
What's up, Tim?
I'm still hammering away at the motel. Almost done. I got to the point where, it's got some paper graphics. I got to cut those out so I can glue them on the signs. And I did finish off Professor Newton yesterday. I posted him. So there's another Mini done.
Cool.
And I am planning on finishing. This cat's driving me nuts. Bigfoot.
There you go.
Probably this weekend. I started him last Saturday on the little hobby stream. So
nice.
Yeah, my table's starting to clear off a little bit because I had kind of a pile there.
Listen, I think that you have done amazing because when we first started doing this, two years ago now?
Yeah.
When we first started doing this, it would take you about
forever
6 to 8 shows to finish a model.
Yeah, because that was all I was working on when we would sit down to hang out and stuff. And now I've been kind of carving out time here and there where I can.
Yeah, you can. So Alder said, glad you're feeling better. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I had COVID again, but it wasn't bad this time. The first time I had it was way at the beginning. I was down for 2 weeks. I was actually only sick for a couple of days, but I had to quarantine for 5 days. So this is like last 3 days. I had nothing to do. I couldn't go anywhere in my own house. I had to quarantine myself in one corner. So I thought, I'll quarantine myself where all my paints are.
You should just get one of those big bio suits, like the old sci-fi 80s movies with the big hoses coming out.
Then I would have had to go do stuff. See, while I was quarantined in my little corner, all my paints are there, all my models are there. I was opening drawers left and right. I was like, I haven't painted a Necromunda miniature in I don't know how long. Zombicide Invader.
In a way, it was a way that you could finish off those models and just knock some stuff out.
Yeah, but then I ended up doing the same thing that I always do that's terrible, is I start painting, and I do a really good job. I'll clean up my paint desk. I'll grab like 5 models.
Yeah.
And I'll put them on the table. I'm going to paint those 5 models, and I'm not going to put anything else on my desk. Well, then I do something like get sick, and I'm sitting around my desk, and you lean back in your chair, you're taking a break, and look over at one of the drawers, and oh, what's in here? Pull it out and you go, oh, this guy's so cool. I wanted to paint him. Oh, him too. And the next thing you know, I got 30 models on my paint desk on top of all my new Drowned Earth models that I just got. So
now, did you get a lot in that Kickstarter, the Drowned Earth? Because I did not. I just stuck with the standees, figured I can get them later. I just got some dinosaurs. That's it.
No, so I got the dinos. I got... Yeah, I don't know how you do that, man. I don't know how you do that. You haven't even cut the tape, have you?
Nope.
Oh, you make me sick.
See it right there? It's taunting you.
It is taunting me. That's the real reason you don't move down here, because you would get something and I'd be like, dude, I brought a knife. Let's cut it open. Let's do it. Let's cut it open. No, I got the dinos. I got all of the Corsairs. I got the heroes for the Raptor Claw Island stuff. And then, of course, because I did the Gene Splicer pledge, I've got my 5 extra copies of my guy that are coming, that I have a couple set aside for a couple of people already. But that's your Twisted bell ring. You're all the way up there with Twisted, man. That's sweet. So that was really cool. I was super excited, and I got I've gotten a couple of them painted and got some paint on some of the other ones started. And since I
don't even remember what comes with my pledge level. I don't think I had anything come in the level I went. I think I went,
you just got the board
level.
game.
Yeah,
you just got the board game. Yeah. So you shouldn't have any models. See, there you go. Alder's got my back. Look at that. That is shameful.
I'm just gonna keep moving and just tease you guys.
You just need to keep your head right in front of it, because it's just, I got to tell you, it's embarrassing. I might have to take your picture off.
This way.
I might have to be solo tonight. Anybody wants to join me tonight and do the show with me? Eric's gonna have to leave in a minute and go open his box.
What's up, Tim? I see Tim joined us today, and so we got Alder. We have Jim, the tabletop engineer. Right. And you know what? I'm going to think. Go ahead with your thought. I'm going to see if we got something here.
I was going to say, I watched one of Jim's videos today on one of his new laser cut
I don't have
terrain pieces. This really cool orbital cannon. I watched the assembly video for it, and it's really cool. Jim, you got to keep pumping out some of that terrain stuff, man. It's looking really good. That orbital cannon looked pretty sweet. That was pretty awesome looking.
Send some stuff our way.
No, you don't have to do that. That's cool. Yeah, the orbital cannon's awesome. But I got my cards for Violent Dark.
Oh, cool.
So I'm excited about that. I just sleeved them today. I set up my board to do my special custom mission for the EVA mission that I want to do, but then I got sick, so it's still just set up. So I'll be able to use my cards, which I'm very happy about, because some of the items would definitely be helpful. I'm a big fan of the cat one. When you pull the cat one, you get to remove one of the potential threat targets or potential target threats. One of the PTTs. You just get to take them off the board.
I remember they did make some minis for it's like, I don't know, you get 6 different cat minis. I don't know why you need that many cats, but
well, the funny thing about that is Clem, our friend of the show, Todd, he 3D printed me 2 resin cats, so I already have a couple. Those are for Violent Dark by Black Site Studios, Jim. Really cool game. You can check out. I've got a sort of a photo battle report of the first one. It's a very interesting game.
It's got some similarities that don't look back, just a little. But mainly just because Matt wrote both games.
Yeah, but I think the thing that I like about it is your main characters, they die.
They're gonna die.
Right, and the cryo tubes keep opening, and you keep getting more stuff till the whole stack is gone. And I think that's neat to me, because it's a different thing. It's not like your hero surviving, if that makes sense. But anyway, we'll get into some of that as tonight we craft the perfect game.
Yeah, so tonight, I'm calling this Mac's Crazy Dream Game Session. So
I would like to put a caveat on this.
Okay.
What's going to end up happening is I know what's going to end up happening. We're going to do all of this stuff. I'm going to go over to the Twisted table that I have set up over there this weekend, and I'm going to use all of these rules and ideas that we're about to go through to play a game of Twisted, and then I'm going to be like, that was epic. And then I'm going to share the results with everyone. So anyway.
So basically this came up, you had this idea a while ago and we were kind of, thinking about it a little bit, but have you ever wanted to make your own dream game? So dream game means no holds barred, throw in all your favorite game elements and have an awesome game to throw down in. Well, a lot of games start this way, I think. And tonight we're going to pick the cool stuff from all these different games, mash them together, and make Mac's dream game.
Yeah. See, I don't really have any interest in making a game. I got all of the respect in the world for guys like Matt that do Violent Dark, Don't Look Back, the guys at DGS Games, for Cynthia, at Spectrum Games, all of those creators. But in my mind, they've already done such a cool job. I just want to swipe the cool stuff they've done and apply it to the themes that I want
to make a Frankenstein game, basically.
Yeah, I don't have any desire to make a game. But I always love, we've talked about this several times before. I always love when a game brings something new to the table.
Yeah.
For instance, I mentioned Spectrum Games, Urban Manhunt. The thing I love the most about Urban Manhunt that is unique is the fact that if you and I are playing the game, we're not even allowed to shoot at each other in the game because we're trying to kill crims in order to score points in the game. And I just think that that's so unique to pit you and I against each other in a game, and yet we're never going to be targeting one another. We're trying to steal each other's kills and stuff, and I just think that that's really neat. And I love when a game introduces something super unique, because I think we could probably all agree that across the board, at least with skirmish games, probably applies to board games and historical games too. There's a lot of similarities. I think it's why it's easy for people that play multiple games to just keep playing multiple games, because you crack open the rule book, you read half the rules, and you're like, oh, okay, I already know how to do all this stuff. And then you find the one or two things that are a new element, if you will, if that makes sense. It made sense here.
And I think that's the hardest thing, is to come up with something that's different and stand out. Like you said, that's why we have categories for games too, because it's like you can group these games into categories. So some of it is kind of what we looked at for this tonight. And now organization for this chat, I kind of went very, very basic. Where do we start, Mac? What's the first thing we should look at?
Okay, so this is what I thought. This was the brainchild. Is I was just going to go through like the game. So your notes kind of fit with mine, and so your theme doesn't matter what it is. For me, it's going to be probably steampunk or sci-fi, right? So you get your theme, whatever minis you're going to use. We can all harken back to and age ourselves and say 54 millimeter Inquisitor, right? Down to 6 millimeter, whatever you want to do. So you kind of pick that and what table size. But then you get into what I think would be the fun stuff. And this is where I would start creating my Frankenstein monster. Now, I only had one part of the game that I wasn't sure of what I would take it from. And I would like you guys to chip in too, because I'd be interested for your input. But the first step, right? Initiative. What initiative system is your absolute favorite to use? Now, this one I struggled with because I don't know that I really care one way or the other.
Yeah.
So what's
there's plenty out there too. I mean, it's you go, I go.
No, not turn system, but initiative. So who's going to go first?
Who's going to go first? I mean, I think I favor the ones that are simple, because then you don't have to scratch your head about it. It takes away from actually getting into the game. Just basic roll off, I guess, type of thing.
Okay, Tim said Reign in Hell. Reign in Hell has a good initiative. I also like Twisted's initiative. It's where you You roll a d20, you subtract the number of models you have. So if you're bringing a huge force, you're going to be subtracting a bunch. And if I've got 3 or 4 powerful guys, I might subtract 3. So I like that initiative. Yeah. But then I think is when, see, I got my notes here because my computer's acting up. So I got them on my phone here. So then I think you get to, in my mind, the next part. Movement. Oh, wait, Alder had one on there. Drawing dice tokens from a bag for all active. Twilight, yes. Okay, so that's
a really good one.
And that one too, it's built into the whole game mechanic because the turn can end really fast. I know Bolt Action does that. Star Breach does that. The Warlord Judge Dredd game does that. Strontium Dog, those games, they all do that. And that's a good activation system too. I like that. So for movement, yeah, I like this. So you never know who's going next. What about for movement for you? What's the one movement rule? So right now, I'm going to go for mine. For Twisted is going to be the first for initiative. That's what I'm going to use for initiative. Jim said he likes the fast, slow phase for 5 leagues and 5 parsecs. And says they're solo games. They are solo games, but that doesn't matter because for me, when I'm building this, I play in solo most of the time anyway. But I really like the fast, slow phase as well. I thought that was really good. So movement. What's your favorite game for movement? Game style? See?
I mean, a lot of the movement that I look at is very similar. You know, the pre-measuring. I like pre-measuring, I guess. Just, I don't know. Because, you know, back when we played X-Wing with you don't get to pre-measure, I kind of like that where it throws that spontaneous. You don't know what's quite going to happen. You got to kind of, I don't know. To me, that kind of seems more realistic.
So you have to declare your move, and then you can move. Okay, I like that. So for me, I'm going to roll my initiative Twisted style, right? And then my first movement, I have this vision in my head of playing a game of Twisted and moving everybody like in the Drowned Earth, the dynamic movement of the Drowned Earth.
Yeah,
because that to me, for anybody that has played the Drowned Earth, the most exciting part about that game for me is the dynamic movement, because you build a whole story about what happens on the table just by the way one of your dudes moves across the table.
Yeah.
He's leaping over boxes and backflips and swinging from vines like Tarzan and all of this kind of crazy parkour stuff that he's doing. So I would have that incorporated into movement. I could just see the most ridiculously crazy game of Twisted happening this weekend now. We gotta, what Tim's saying.
Tim's saying. So he's declaring movement like an X-Wing is great for vehicle-based games. He doesn't like it for others, though. So what was the D&D one? I think, I could see how it wouldn't quite work in that sense.
I think for vehicle-based games, I like it too. But even those are those are kind of like template moves too for all of those, right? Gaslands, X-Wing, Attack Wing. They're all
templates, so you can kind of judge it a little bit. And I mean, that's what I say, that I like it. It kind of captures that realism because, you know, if you're fighting some dude in real life and you're not quite sure if he's going to zig or zag, you know, it kind of emulates that a little bit.
Right. So now we've moved, right? We've done our initiative roll.
Yep.
We've now done crazy Irken parkour across the board, and now it's time for combat. Now this one, I had 2 reasons for this that I kind of liked integrated, and I've actually played this one on the table when I've played some Twisted solo games, and I love how Twisted, Free Blades, who else does it? I don't know that a whole bunch of other games do it, but they use the whole polyhedral dice set for their combat, right?
Yeah.
There's the D20 like in an RPG for your combat roll, but then you're using all of the other dice. And I really, really like that because I think it offers me a real big narrative bubble to work in with varieties of weapons and extra damage it can do and all of these other variables that can go into it. But I would caveat that with one thing. Antimatter Games, makers of Deep Wars and Shadowsea, right? Their close combat system, and I'm sure and you guys pipe in because I'm sure you guys know some other systems that do this. Off the top of my head, I couldn't think of any that I play regularly or have played regularly. But the thing I like about the Antimatter Games system, which is really just Ganesha Games, it's Song of Blades and Heroes rules engine, is that if you attack me and I beat you on the contested roll, I don't just defend, I hurt you.
Yeah.
So now there's a risk there. And a lot of times what happens, at least in Deep Wars, is you might go after the littlest dude on the board and your big dude picks him up, is getting ready to bite his head off or whatever. And you roll horrible and he rolls fantastic. And then you get that epic movie scene where you're about to bite his head off and he takes his little metal stick and crams it into your mouth so you can't close your mouth kind of thing. You know what I mean? So you create this really cool story piece because you don't have to wait for his turn to attack.
Yeah.
You know, the roll resolved the entire combat right there. Is you attacked me, you were unsuccessful. Well, I beat you. So I didn't just defend, I struck you back. And I really, really like that. I think there's other games that do that. Obviously, all of the Songs of Blade and Heroes do. Fistful of Kung Fu, Fear and Faith, Ray Guns, Rockets and Mutants, or Death Rays, or what, I can't remember the name of that one. I always get the words mixed up. It's 3 of them. It's Death Rays, Mutants, and Ray Guns in some order. I don't remember what order. In some order. I promise it's in some order. So if you guys know of any that do that, please throw it in there because I'm not sure of too many that do. You know any?
No, I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more out there that use that kind of combat system. Just in a way, it speeds it up, right? It's which I like. You know, you don't feel like you just have to sit there and take it. It's like there's that chance that, well, he could fail on his attack, and then you get a little bit of a kind of a free shot in a way. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then all of a sudden it becomes a little riskier, and you have to, for the Song of Blades and Heroes rule sets, for the simplicity of them, they have a lot of strategic depth because you have to think about those kinds of things. Okay, I'm going to rush in, but all right, well, if I lose this combat, I could get knocked down.
Yeah, and how important is it?
Right, getting knocked down. Now this dude can curb stomp me pretty easily while I'm there, and I got to waste an action to get back up. So now you starting to get into this economy of actions kind of thing and what you want to do. So I think it adds a strategic layer to it, which doesn't really help me because number one, I'm not very strategic, and number two,
just run in there, don't you?
Even if I was, I don't roll well enough to be strategic, as the couple battle reports we have up have shown.
Okay,
I am not joking. I really can't roll. Okay, so next part, reactions. What are your thoughts on reactions in games?
I like them, but sometimes I think depending on the game,
you can say
they can be easily forgotten. You know. Because you're just caught up in the heat of the moment and stuff, and you could forget, I have 10 different reactions I could do depending on the situation. So sometimes
you can say the name of the game that you're talking about that overcomplicated reactions. Go ahead.
My Wild West Exodus.
No, I was thinking Infinity, but you can throw Wild West.
Well, that's even worse. Yes,
right,
yes.
Right.
Infinity won that one. But yeah, I mean, there's many times that, especially if you're just starting out in the game to learn it, you could forget some key moments of, I could have done that. I could have done that. And my guy would have still been alive. Now, like I said, I do like that because it gives you a lot of variability in the game. Once again, you don't have to just stand there and take it. You know, if you can, afford it, or, whether it's an action point thing or, some other way that you can, a currency to spend to take those reactions.
Right. So, I'm very nominally, too many reactions can slow the whole game down. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I think that I only have a nominal familiarity with the infinity reactions, but the couple times that I played infinity, it was too much.
Yeah, it's too much. You need like a 2-sided page to remember them all.
Right. You needed a whole nother rule book for reactions. But when I first started playing Drowned Earth has reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they're all very simple, and they're all restricted to how many actions you have. So you have to preserve your actions. You can't do a reaction if you don't have any actions.
Yeah.
You're done. So it doesn't slow things down much. So I do like reactions. And again, we're talking about what I would do on my table for my game. I would use the way that the Drowned Earth uses them. So if you have 2 actions, 3 actions, whatever, you can move and preserve one of those actions and wait for dude to pop around the corner, take a shot at him. Do whatever it is. But it's just that simple. See, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that, I don't think. But again, I think that comes back to folks that like that extra layer of complexity, because some people are going to like that. All you have to do is look at the success of BattleTech to know that some people are going to like that level of complexity, or the success of Infinity. The rules are complex, but a lot of people really like the game.
Yep.
Tim says he thinks they slow down more than help, in my opinion. I think that they can. I do.
Yeah.
But for those of you on the list that think that they slow down the whole game, I agree. I mean, they're going to slow it down a little bit for sure because it's an extra something. But I would challenge you you can download the rules for the Drowned Earth for free from the website. Doesn't have all the fluff in it, but you can download the rules and read how the Drowned Earth handles reactions. I think you'll find it's probably one of the best reaction systems out there. So I would probably include that just because, number one, I'm very Drowned Earth biased. And number two, I do like reactions. Do you like any reaction systems?
I can't say if there's one that stands out more than the others. How many years did I play Wild West Exodus? And now that didn't have like the list Infinity had, but like I said, those ones were very like situation specific.
Right.
So unless you're doing them over and over and over again, you tend to forget them. Now, I played that game for years and years and years. So for the most part, I knew what your go-to ones were. Right. But every once in a while, it'd be like, oh, yeah, I could have done that. So I was still forgetting them.
Well, I think in first edition, they were rule-specific reactions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you might have fast draw when someone charges you. That was one of the old rules. So I find that the Drowned Earth's reactions tend to be that way. They're you can still pop somebody that runs across your field of view if you have an action, but they're not overly complex. You're always going to forget something. I mean, let's be honest. Even your favorite game that you play all the time, I play Twisted, and I'll get to the end of the game and I go, dang it. You know what I mean? So Jim says Core Space has where you use up your skill points and run out. Yeah, that's kind of like the Drowned Earth ones are. You use your actions to perform a reaction. And then if it's gone, it's gone. I mean, if you already used it and then all of a sudden somebody comes around the corner to charge you, you go, oh dear, here he goes. No reaction for you. He's coming over to curb stomp you.
And I kind of like that because that strategy just right there is like, do you save something a little bit back just in case, or you just go, hog wild?
Exactly. What's up, Clem? See you later, Alder. I know you have to go work.
Go make some money.
It's morning. It's in the future where you are working in the future. Okay, so I got 2 more things, and I'll go over these ones quick since we're running out of time. Fastest 30 minutes in wargaming, which I had my new shirt ready last week and everything, and it's in the laundry. So I don't have my new shirt on. Disappointed. So AI. Okay. So for AI, I absolutely love. Now, this is only for dumb AI. Okay. This isn't for, this is for like zombies or rat swarms, something basic like that.
Yeah.
Is the County Road Z AI mechanic for the zombies is amazing. I absolutely love it. If you don't know what it is, I'm not going to share it because it's a small independent developer. You can go get the PDF on Drive-Thru RPG for pretty cheap. Yeah, like $5. But I love the zombie AI system in that. It's super simple, super fast, but hyper aggressive in terms of one of the guys in the County Road Z Facebook group said it best when he said the AI is super easy until it's not easy anymore for the zombies. It's really easy. Everything's really easy until it's not anymore. It just breaks. And then the last thing was campaign mechanic. My two favorites are 5 parsecs because of the depth of it, all these charts to roll on in between the game to see what happens. You go explore stuff, and the OG Necromunda, the original Necromunda with the injury charts, and Burrows and Badgers has the same thing, the injury chart, things like that. I love that kind of stuff. So now I got to play that game.
Yeah, that was something I liked in Dracula's America, that from game to game, that progression of, your guys earned like experience points, and then you can take those and roll on charts to get maybe new skills or new abilities, or even
new cybernetic eyeball.
Yeah, new weapons, maybe upgrade your little broken old pistol into a shotgun or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right, Clem. Mordheim too. I know. I was just looking to see if I could find a copy of the Mordheim book to buy today, and I was like, yeah, $125.
Wow.
I think I'll find a PDF and print that bad boy. Thanks very much.
Spiral bound that sucker.
Yes.
Yeah, I like campaign. I think a campaign makes it fun. It's not just playing a one-off game type of thing. It gives you a direction in the game. Now, whether that's linked scenarios or, I think it still creates that narrative that we would want in your drinking game, right? We want to tell a story.
Absolutely. And I just really like that. I'm going to probably pick up the 5 parsecs book. Not 5 parsecs, the 5 leagues.
The 5 leagues one. I'm kind of looking forward to that to see how different it is.
Well, because with the 5 parsecs one, you can kind of incorporate all of those charts and stuff into really any of your sci-fi skirmish games if you're like us and you kind of just build what you want to do and play along the way. And I think that the 5 leagues one will cover the majority of other stuff. You could work some of it into Twisted, and then if you wanted to, you could do Relic Blade stuff with it, or you could squeeze it into your Free Blades some way if you wanted to. And I think that's ultimately, it's so hard to just pick one of these game developers and go, oh, they're the best game developer. They're all so great. I mean, they're all so great that I just want to take bits and pieces from all of them and incorporate it into what makes it the most fun on my table. Jim said he's hooked on 5 parsecs and 5 leagues. Haven't found something to take his attention away yet. Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. They're great games. And I encourage everybody, if you don't have those 2 particular books, first of all, if you don't have a Twisted rule book, go to Discover Games and buy one, first and foremost. But 5 parsecs and 5 leagues, I really encourage you to pick that up as well, because those books are 100% self-contained. Everything is in it. There's no supplements. There's no extra. There's your models, your dice, that book, you're good to go. I mean, it's really completely self-contained. So check them out. Support those. Do it. County Road Z.
I'm kind of looking forward to Black Sight's new game that's It's very similar to that. It has that. Yeah, Yafsiga. It's it's mid fantasy. It's not high fantasy, but it's got that same type of thing all in one book. You have that progression of your war bands and stuff like that, and it's just a little bit different. Has that little bit of different twists. So
thanks, Jim. I'm gonna have to go order a copy of 5 Leagues now because I don't have it yet.
Is it out yet?
I think that this is backwards. I think everybody always says to us, "Oh, Indie Invasion makes you buy games. Protect your wallet if you listen to Indie Invasion." But let me tell you what really happens. You guys start talking about stuff, and we go buy it.
We're like. This usually would be like, oh yeah, that was fun.
Right.
I used to have that.
Yes, absolutely. So nope, keep the games coming and the ideas because we'll keep doing it. Hardbacks are going out now. Clem says turnabout is fair play. Come on now. I don't think that's what games have you bought, Clem, that we've talked about. Okay, it's time for some confession. What games have you bought? 5 Leagues is much more complex. Wow. Okay, that's cool. God, that's cool. No, good for the goose, good for the gander. That's not a game. That is not a game we have recommended.
Not that I haven't played in 30, 40 years, but
that's
Duck Duck Goose.
That's not the game. That's not a game. You know what I'm talking about. Which ones have you bought? I probably shouldn't ask that because we're going to get an email that says, all right, guys, here's what you've made us.
Here's a list. Yeah. So did we hit everything that we wanted for our dream game? I mean, we didn't mention scenario or scenery. We didn't really talk about interactive terrain, but that's something to think about. I think we covered everything that we could think of, though.
That was my stuff. If you want to.
We kind of lined up pretty good. I mean, that was one thing I had because I know you like terrain. You like to build the board.
Oh, yes.
And I like to have interactive terrain.
Oh, yes.
Terrain that will eat you if you get too close or whatever. Because I think that just throws the third player. It makes that third player on the board a little bit more.
Most definitely.
I think we got everything. And of course, backstory. We like the backstory. It makes you get attached to those characters. But yeah, I think we hit everything else.
Jim, I will let you know about Southern Fried. I am trying desperately to get to Southern Fried, which is next weekend in Atlanta.
Oh, man, that's not good.
Having a large pack of children, I'm struggling to find childcare because my wife is working, my sister's working, my father-in-law just had knee surgery, and my mother is camping. So all of my normal go-tos for childcare when I go to a convention, they're like, sorry. Like, no. So we'll see what happens. Because then I can run some demos of Twisted. All right. Whose turn is it to take us out?
I think it might be my turn.
Well, couldn't be. I wasn't here last week.
You weren't here last week. So actually, it should be your turn.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. As always, we love having you guys. We love talking with you guys. So don't forget to check us out on all of the podcast channels, worlds, realms, all those different things. We're out there on places we didn't even know existed. So go check those out. Also, don't forget to go over to the Discord channel, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all those cool places, Instagram. The Discord is really pretty active. Go over there and check out. Lots of pictures being posted. Sorry for the spamming the past few days. I've been in quarantine and I have been painting. So I've been just posting everything that I've been painting. Also, don't forget, we do have a Patreon. If you want to go over there and give us a little support, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But go over and get you some Redbubble merchandise, hats, T-shirts. You might even be able to get an Indie Invasion bell. We need to look into that.
Yeah.
Get an Indie Invasion
clock so you know what time it is.
Coffee cups. You can get all of that cool stuff. Yeah, I wonder, you know what? We need Indie Invasion card sleeves. Now that would be cool.
There's got to be a place out there.
I found a place.
I found a place that makes keychains.
Keychains and stickers, right? So those are the places out there, guys. That go check that out. We really, really enjoy the Redbubble stuff. I think Eric and I have bought the majority of stuff from our Redbubble store, but join us. It's fun stuff. Don't forget to check us out every Thursday night for our Shorts live stream, and always be on the lookout. Eric is constantly turning his camera on and doing a hobby stream. And we're trying to do one once a month too. We just did one this past Saturday. And remember, guys, when you're out there playing that perfect game that you designed for you, you can play the one I designed, but just play the one that you designed for you that you love. You're welcome to play mine. Don't forget to prepare yourself for the invasion.